Okay, let's try this again. How are we doing? Let's see. Are we back? Okay, I'm back. Are you back? That was weird. I didn't have my production team with me tonight. Alright, it looks like you're starting to filter back in. Jennifer still first on the retake. Jana, hello! Sage, hi guys. Sorry about that. My battery on my mic died, and then for some reason that killed the video. Usually that just kills my audio, but my mic had died. I have a... At some point we do need to record a behind the scenes of how we create this setting here. Okay, I think you had a better idea when I was when you had the view of the stairs in the early days. But deja vu. I should have gone and changed shirts for you, Kelly, just to mess with you. Yes, everybody was freezing. My mic froze. That was the first thing. My battery died on my mic has two pieces. It has a I don't know that I can show you. Maybe I can show you. I got this little piece here that makes that is connected to the computer that makes my mic. Then I've got the wireless mic up here, and I've got one of those packs that, the fancy people wear, that goes down to it. And the first thing that went was my mic lost power. The part that connects to the computer needed to be recharged. And then that, for some reason, froze the video. I don't know. My production crew is not here. She is being a model child right now. Adele, you'll appreciate this. Adele, you'll appreciate what Rebecca's doing tonight. So she was at Zeke's parents in New York. And we are back live. I am live here, Bonnie. Here, I'll pinch myself. Ouch! That hurt. I am live. But Adele, you'll appreciate. So Rebecca, is in New York with Zeke, and even she's doing things that she knows I would do if I were close enough to do them or had time right now. So she went and visited all the family at the cemetery and placed rocks. Even went and saw Aunt Sarah, the Scotch princess, the one that got us started on Scotch, and she's in the extra cemetery at the top of the hill, and went and saw all the relatives and did this all on her own. So, and dragged Zeke along. So I'm sure this will cost me at some point, but that is what Rebecca is doing. That's good. I'm glad Park felt that too. Did you pinch Park there, Bonnie? So, as I was saying before I got cut off there, I am so excited and so pumped up for the future of our industry and the future of retail in general. But there's a lot of unknowns still. A lot of unknowns. And I don't want to take that lightly. And so, as we have great days, great weeks, great months, you got to hang on for the roller coaster. Hey, Nebraska Angie. And so, being good stewards of the resources you are getting when times are good is going to be very important. Because we don't know what the future holds. I think there's a lot more negative in the news than what will be in reality, but we don't know. My goal is to spread good in the news, and I'm doing my part to share that. I've been interviewed a lot, and I am very optimistic on the future. Okay, the future is bright, hope is bright, but we get there by being good stewards. Okay, by taking the resources and the gifts of today and stretching them beyond today. So that is very, very important. Okay, and I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind, which is part of what I've been saying since the beginning here, is cash is king and so are relationships. The two will get us to the other side. Okay? They will help us grow our way out of this, and we have to grow our way out of this. Yeah, I'm better about it now, Adele, than I used to be. You know, I value it. I used to not be able to do it, but I take the moments when I go upstate and do it. Platform yet? I'm working on all my platforms, Ken. I'm getting you never know where you're gonna find me. I gotta work on my new set for Thursday. I'm on Fox on Thursday, so we'll see how I have to broadcast for that. I'm not sure what this set will look like by Thursday, or where they're gonna. You know, I find that I was really surprised, Adele. You know, I got called by Fox National News because of the Wall Street Journal article, and I was surprised that they booked me after I was not all gloom and doom. So we'll see if I still go to air Thursday afternoon or not. But I am booked for a Thursday afternoon segment. We'll see. But that'll be interesting whether I'm still on the air on Thursday or not, and where I'm broadcasting from. Whether I'm going to broadcast from here or from one of the stores. We'll see. We'll see what we decide between now and Thursday. What our stage will look like. But let's get back on topic here tonight, folks. We're in the Good Morning Good Night book, the Good Morning Good Night book, and tonight we're on page 130 for those of you that have a copy and are following along. Good morning. Your very presence is intoxicating. That is our short and sweet good morning tonight. And then we'll get started with Self-Care Sunday. Self-Care Sunday today. Who made our recipes of the day? We had cookie dough pretzel bites. Cookie dough pretzel bites look really awesome. I mean, that is my personal choice, is cookie dough pretzel bites. And we had strawberry pie that was sent into the Recipe Central by Julie Jankowicz. So what did you make this Self-Care Sunday? Both looked amazing. Although the picture, the strawberry pie had a piece missing. I think Julie ate it. But, you know, that is part of Self-Care Sunday is baking. I know Jennifer and Melissa are going to have guacamole later from Oaks Farm. Oaks Farm Market, I think, is the name of it. Which is amazing down there in Florida. So I am just a tiny bit, okay, I'm a lot jealous of that. But there will be times for that again. I look forward to it. So I hope you all had a good Self-Care Sunday and did some baking. We baked, what was that, a French toast? We made a fruit French toast casserole today. Let me rephrase that. Cassandra made a fruit French toast casserole today. I ate it, because that's the kind of gracious person I am. And we had a breakfast cocktail, or brunch cocktail, of emptying the partial bottles of liquor we had in the house taking up space. The ones that you don't really touch, you know, the rum, the this, the that. She made a fruit punch mimosas type thing for brunch, which was very nice. Yes, I need to get Florida again. I need some Florida in me, but you need to clean up Florida just a little bit. It's kind of cesspool-y right now, Jennifer. Nothing personal, but you got some germs going on down there. But maybe I can come back to the down in your area. I'll be safe. Let's see what's happening in the world. A landlord sues Boston retailer for $250,000 in back rent. Ann Taylor Loft has missed a combined $253,000 in rent payments for its Boston store near the famous Faneuil Hall Marketplace. They filed a complaint in U.S. District Court in Massachusetts that alleges Ann Taylor did not pay rent and other charges for April, May, and June for its 6,000 square foot storefront. And that is not that is a common thing that we are seeing right now. Is landlords? Florida's great, even with the germs. You'll all protect me, right? If I came to Florida, my sister's talking about going to Florida tonight when I talk to her. We do Siblings Sunday where I talk to all my siblings, and I talked to her just before this show tonight. Actually, she rushed me off the phone so I could get to all of you tonight. And she has the opportunity to go this week to Orlando, and she's talking about driving from Houston to Orlando. And I'm like, well, that's one cesspool, that's one germy place to another. So I guess you're really, Florida can't say it can't have Texas germs, right? I don't know, but and Naples isn't that bad. Well, she's talking about going to you, Russ. She's talking about going to Orlando. Friends have a house there, rented a house there with a pool. They said you should come, and so she's thinking about going midweek. And making the trek there. So we'll see if my sister ends out in your backyard, Russ. Let's see. I got a bunch of stuff tonight. Well, not a ton. It's still Sunday, so we don't have. It's not a huge night. But what do we got going on? So Unilever, Honda, and Verizon join growing Facebook ad boycott. Honda became the first automotive marketer to join the Facebook advertiser boycott. Ad Age reported the brand, in a press statement, said it would pause advertising on Facebook and Instagram for the month of July in a move to stand with people united against hate and racism. Honda joining the fray followed Unilever's announcement earlier in the afternoon that it would pause all Facebook advertising. And Verizon became the largest advertiser to pause its spend on Facebook following an open letter from the Anti-Defamation League that pointed to an ad for the telecommunications brand appearing next to a video from a conspiracy group. The boycott also gained ad agency Gubi Silverstein. A Facebook executive said the company has a trust deficit on a call with close to 200 advertisers that was convened Tuesday by the Interactive Advertising Bureau in Canada. According to the Financial Times, which obtained leaked audio of it. 14 hours, Kelly, she said. 14 hours. I could do it in 10. Ben & Jerry's, Eddie Bauer, and Canadian outdoor company Arc'teryx have joined the Stop Hate for Profit campaign, pausing advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Outdoor goods retailers North Face, Patagonia, and REI joined a boycott of Facebook. We're out of Facebook, North Face said in a June 19th tweet. So everybody's doing it. What was the amount that we heard that Facebook's losing, Cassandra? It was billions. It was billions. This Right, 98% of Facebook's revenue is ads, and the big guys are predominantly where the money's coming from. I mean, it was in the billions that they were going to lose for this month because of this campaign. But while we're talking about social media, I've got a really cool cheat sheet. Infographic that will post here to Nart's private Facebook group first. You will see it here first in about an hour, I think. It will get posted here, and then tomorrow you can share it out from narts.org/resale strong by noon. An infographic, because one of the things that I thought that is always a pain in the neck is what is the right image size. And that, for each of the thing, so what's your cover photo, your profile picture, your image post, what's the right size in pixels for a video post, a group cover photo, an event cover photo, stores, on Instagram, what's the square post, the landscape post, the portrait post, the stores, Twitter sizes, all of them, LinkedIn even, Pinterest, okay? What the right size is to use for each of the social media and in each of the areas where you can have it. Doesn't tequila prevent all everything? Yeah, I don't know. Naples isn't that bad. I like Naples. I have a good time in Naples. And I know where there's always good baked goods in Naples too. Hey, Deanne in Arizona. Well, I do have tequila at home. That we still have plenty of. But so I thought you guys would all like this social media image and video size cheat sheet updated for 2020. Okay, is in the narts.org Narts private Facebook group page tonight, and everywhere at narts.org/resalestrong tomorrow. Okay. I haven't scheduled this to post yet, but you guys need this. Brad has good alcohol. Oh, now you're just sweetening the pot here. Brad has good alcohol too, not just cookies. Okay, well now this is getting better. Okay, so conflict management expert Dave Young shares tips for retailers on how to de-escalate tense situations. We talked about this the other night. Okay, how do you win the mask war? What do you do with masks? We are now, even this graphic, we are now open, masks required. Okay. Dave Young is co-founder and director of training and conflict management firm Vistelar. A veteran of the United States Marine Corps, Young served as a sworn corrections and law enforcement officer in Florida, and all told has more than 30 years experience in civilian and military law enforcement. Young and his organization do a lot of training of what they refer to as contact professionals, people whose occupations require them to interact with the general public. He specializes in keeping others safe in industries like education, healthcare, casinos, parking enforcement, and of course, retail. There have been incidences where asking customers to comply with safety guidelines have resulted in violent response. In a couple of instances, customers who, when asked to leave a closed dining area or put on a mask, left the scene, armed themselves, then came back in person or through a proxy, and started shooting. NRF, the National Retail Federation, our friends, talked about how to manage difficult situations with emotional customers. How do you ask someone to do something they don't want to do without things escalating to violence? The best thing to do is never let it get to that point. And I want to add, a lot of organizations don't understand this. That it's everybody's job. It's just not about training supervisors to put the fire out. It's about training the entire staff on how not to have the fire in the first place. How do you keep the fire from starting? Treat people with dignity. It starts with empathy. Failing to see the world through someone else's eyes is where most conflict begins. Secondly, listen. Most people will say they're listening when they're actually waiting for a chance to interrupt. Instead of that, I want to really listen with all my senses. As part of treating people with dignity, I introduce myself and I ask and explain. Hi, I'm Dave Young. I'm an assistant manager or an associate or whatever. And I need to ask you to say, put on a face mask. I don't know if you noticed, but there are signs on the doors requiring all shoppers to wear masks in the store. I know this is an inconvenience, but we could be fined for not following the CDC guidelines about masks. I'm not ordering them to do this or that. I'm telling them why. I want us to be on the same side. Cooperation. Then what? Then I want to offer options. Maybe we've got a whole rack full of masks and I can let them have one on store credit. The thing is to let the person you're dealing with choose. In reality, as a contact professional, no matter where you are, everybody you talk to has all the power. If you go into every contact trying to get cooperation, you can always fall back to compliance. We have to do it because the CDC says so. But if you're in an organization that's focusing on compliance on a good day, you've got nowhere to fall back to on a bad day. Finally, don't just take no as no. Give them a chance to reconsider. A quick no comes from feelings. Give the person empathy. See it from their point of view and give them a little room. It can turn to a yes. That's if all goes well. What if all doesn't go well? We have 5 basic indicators that tell you that communications have broken down and there's possible safety violations. First one is when you lose the ability to manage distance during contact. You're not comfortable with how close you are to the person. The second is positioning. Where and how a person stands is usually indicative of the level of respect they want to show you. The third indicator is tone of voice. The tone of a person's voice usually tells you their level of frustration because tone reflects how your heart feels at the time those words come out of your mouth. Then there's word choice. The first sign of anger is someone cussing, not caring about the words that come out of their mouth. When their words are insulting, disrespectful, rude, intimidating, threatening, excessive repetition is another sign of anger. Now we have hand movements. I've been hit many times in my professional career, and I can tell you that you all see signs with hand movements. Taking a watch off, adjusting a ring, playing with a bracelet. Suppose you look across the parking lot and you see 2 women arguing. If one of them starts taking her flip-flops off, taking her earrings off, and putting her hair in a ponytail, those are indications that communication is broken down and that you have a possible safety violation. If you find yourself faced with a situation like that, it is fair to say that if things had been de-escalated from the initial contact, it wouldn't have happened. Logically, yes. In the reality of the world we live in, no. Even if you do everything right on the front end, you're not responsible for how they translate it. I've had situations where I've been very kind and considerate and nothing worked. At some point it comes time to take appropriate action, which might mean to leave. We're responsible for the process. We're not held accountable for the outcome because the outcome is out of our control. The better trained your people are, the more out-of-control situations are a rarity. It's the same situations most of the time when people call us about arguments. They didn't understand me. They didn't hear me. They miscommunicated. Well, if I know how I can control these problems, I can make sure you hear me, I can make sure you understand me, and I can make sure you're communicating with me. It's a two-way street. I don't have this scheduled to post, but I will post this later. Certainly by tomorrow I will have that posted for everybody so that you can share it with your team and help them be better prepared. I am thankful for the National Retail Federation for providing that for us and providing that level of contact. And I wouldn't be doing my father, an old Navy man, justice if I didn't remind you that while this guy's a good Marine, you know, and the Marines were always in first, they needed the Navy to get them there. I'm just saying. My father was a Navy guy. Always had the uniform ready. But I will post that later. So I have that in my post-it pile because I did not schedule that. I got that late today from my friends at the National Retail Federation. Sent that to me, and I'm like, oh, that's really good. And it's very timely, especially with what we talked about masks the other day and how masks are becoming more prevalent in states where they hadn't been, okay? And especially states in the South where people have some really strong views one way or another. All right, Kelly, I knew we got along for so many reasons. You know, there's... Kelly, you'll appreciate, no, my mother was not Navy, okay, but you'll appreciate there's a picture that of my mother in my father's Navy uniform. But that's a separate story. And I got a story for everything. Good news for PPP borrowers, as I've said, and this came out just before I came on tonight. Additional money may be on the way, but at what cost? So this is what I've been talking about for a while now, okay, that there is talk of pouring additional money into the PPP. If you have not already gotten a PPP, okay, you still have 2 days. 2 days. Get your application in, okay? Get it in, okay? Your granddaddy was Air Force? My sister's first husband, so I was the oops baby, Michelle, which probably explains a lot for you, okay? My sister's first husband was in the Air Force, and that's how I got to see a lot of the world, because I used to go spend summers with my older sister and visit her and